This is the free webinar for the topics the CX Insights Summer Challenge. The intention is this. So we have this technology, CX.AI. We are running that and growing it since now over 4 years. And during this time, we had quite some webinars, and there are always people and companies interested, but sometimes it's always not the right time to pilot it and to really learn for yourself the power that it has. So we thought, okay, let's get together and do kind of a Q&A. Yeah, so I like to introduce you the tool and so forth. And again, if we are together starting this month piloting it for you, it's just half the price for you for this pilot, which is pretty decent thing. So that's the summer challenge. Again, if you have questions, put it in a chat. I would think that I would do basically 5 minutes intro about the method. Then we go into the dashboard. I show you some examples, just a quick demo. Yeah, so you basically 15 minutes recap on what is the value of using AI for text categorization and driver analysis and simulation in a cutting edge way. And then we have time in the last 15 minutes or 20 for Q&A. So it is Friday, so we will not have tons of people. Yeah, so it will be good occasion to ask all the questions you might have. Cool. So quick thing, we are success drivers. We developed this technology. It runs on causal machine learning technology, which is published and proven since 20 years now, and constantly further developed in that. And the CX.AI methodology, yeah, it starts with causal AI, different applications early on, and then the inflection point was pilot customers like Sonos and Basler, and now we are working for large clients like Microsoft and alike. And based on that, pretty much knowledge appeared how to really manage CX Insights, which is also available to you in world's #1 CX Insights Analytics course, 5 hours course, just to mention that. There's already a question. Can we get a copy of this presentation? That for sure, Brian. So, and you get a copy of the recording as well. Cool. So what's CX.AI about? It is taking your customer feedback and getting the insights you need. It gets you the focus you need. Typically, customers, when you ask them, why did you rate that way? They talk a lot, sometimes more, sometimes less, manage many things. And turns out that the frequency of mentioning, the frequency the topic is mentioned is not related to the importance, which is a huge thing, because that's exactly what you think. If a lot of people say, hey, here, Sonos, because of great sound, yeah, I am loyal, you would believe, hey, that's the most important thing. And in a sense, it might not be wrong, because obviously for speakers, great sound is important, right? But the research shows that improving that, making more people mention that, will not change a lot the game. There are other topics which are less often mentioned because you're not so good at it that need improvements. Yeah? And that's why you really need to combine two things: world-class automatic categorization of what people say and understanding what it means to driving CX performance. And it's not just what I'm saying. You can prove that in validity measures. Yeah, the text categorization methodology we use, we train it for every customer's new. So it really gets the specific language of your products and domain. Because of that, it's much better than out-of-the-box text analytics, and causal AI is catches nonlinearities, catches interactions between topics, and therefore is more valid. Right, and that's it basically integrates a causal AI approach, which is not visible in the dashboard. The dashboard just shows you importance. So don't be scared with this chart, but basically it tells you it's cutting edge understanding what's importance of different topics are. Yeah. So again, and also it comes with a simulator. Maybe I show it in the dashboard right away. And again, many very satisfied clients around the world, right? So let me summarize. CX actually uses world's best text analytics, not just the technology, but it's trained for you. We believe that's important. You cannot spend 100,000 euros on a CX platform and don't customize your text analytics. Yeah, that's not appropriate. Same thing, world's best drive analysis and an interactive dashboard simulator and planning tool. I think there's another question. No. Cool. So let's go into I'm going into the tool. Yeah. Basically, as we are talking, you can go to CX.AI.com and you click here, enter demo dashboard. You arrive at the demo dashboard, which is basically how the tool looks like. Of course, it will be somehow customized. So if you don't have NPS, but CSAT or so, yeah, so it will be changed there. If you do multiple waves, you will see a trend. You can, of course, just look at this key chart where you have the importance. So the positive topics are on the right, the negative topics on the left. Yeah, the frequency, this is 45% mention sound. But the impact is rather low. The impact is a normalized, it's a normalized scale, so nobody can argue what actually means 0.1. It's just normalized. Yeah, what it really means, you will understand looking at the simulator. Yeah, if you go into the simulator and say, hey, what does it mean if I become more reliable? You will see, hey, it means that your NPS would improve by 2 points. Yeah, that's what it means. And that's much easier to understand, right? You can even click here on a button. You see what people are saying. Just examples, so you can really understand. You have a management summary, which basically illustrates the key points that you see here on this graph. There are many more features. But basically, the key thing is really to go into the important features and simulate how can you, what does it mean to change that. There's even a fiscal impact feature. So if you know what an NPS point means in fiscal impact, how can you know? We can find out for you. That's a one-off modeling exercise. And with this number, you can really say, hey, if this initiative would cost $1 million, but I can get 7 back, it's a good deal, right? So let me summarize. The methodology gives you an easy to understand dashboard, online dashboard, interactive dashboard. But the key is really that with high validity, you get very, very specific themes which pop up in your verbatims. That it's depending on the size of your data set. It's not just 10, it's 50, 100, or 200. And you learn what's really important, that here are max 1 or 2 or 3 topics you really need to work on out of 50 or so, right? And that's the value that you really learn where to focus. So where does the sentiment factor comes into this? So the sentiment, first off, there you need to understand what sentiment means. And we use a sentiment that pretty nobody uses. Yeah, but we use that because we see it's predictive. So the sentiment we use is measuring the tonality of the language. So if someone says, basically, I would like, beside your other great features, I would love also this and that feature. Then on a content side, it's a complaint about a lack of features. But the tonality says is very positive, right? And that's why sentiment does not mean whether or not it's a positive or negative command. It means whether or not the tonality of language is positive or negative. And we see that this is pretty predictive, depending on the category you are in. Yeah, in banking or finance, it's maybe 10 to 20%. Yeah, in speakers, it's 20 to 30. In transportation, it's 30 to 40. So the emotionality very much depends on the category you are in, and it's basically it's built in, right? So because the sound quality, it has here an indirect causal effect. What you see in the dashboard is the total effect, because at the end, that's what matters, right? You just want to know what will happen if you improve that. And you see here the causal graph. Do you see that? Yeah, that's a sentiment. Okay, let me catch that. You see that sound drives sentiment, and sentiment drives likelihood to recommend. Does this answer your question? Hope so. Why not? Ask again. Cool. What else? There are when companies come to us and have maybe I show some other examples of this insurance. Here we see suddenly trustworthy, honest, reliable. If someone says that about its insurance, it doesn't happen so often because you can do better. But when it happens, it's a real booster, right? That's what we call hidden lever. By the way, yeah, you can have segment analysis. Yeah, so you can have an overall picture. But you can have a picture on regions, on auto, or yeah, on other other regions, yeah, other segments. You can also, of course, look at touch points and so forth. Here, this is a freight example. If it's on time, it's seldom on time. Yeah, that people are really happy about it. But if it's on time, it's huge. And what's popping up very often is unfriendly or difficult contact with a carrier, but the impact is not so much, not so big. Yeah, there are other topics. Tesla. Oh, it's too expensive. It's coming up often, but it's not the biggest impact. What's the biggest impact is design and technology. Not so often mentioned, but you see that is a key for the audience. So but actually the picture is very different for any industry, and the key point is actually that you really learn and can focus on a few key insights that you wouldn't learn otherwise. You could even use this feature to understand why did the NPS changed. Yeah, because we have a change. We have a change in every of the categories, and this can be weighted by the importance of it. And typically the change in NPS can be attributed to those who changed and are important. So this also gives you a good explanation, basically, why it dropped or why it improved. So there are many features, many things you can do with that, but the first and important thing is to start with this fundamental analysis to get rich insights, which helps you focus. That's the main purpose. Other questions? A typical question which comes up is, hey, we have touch points, we have countries. Yeah, we can work with nearly all languages around the world. Yeah, it's typically we translate everything into one language and then categorize it. Yeah, so we use DeepL translations, which is world's best translation engine. And then the analysis can be segmented into different products, different segments, different regions. We would use a different text model for different topics. Basically, if you are an insurance company and yeah, if you have health insurance or you have something else, you might think of a different text model. Yeah. But that's basically what we would decide together. And Another question is typically, okay, how does it work operationally? So operationally, this is not a real-time dashboard because your surveys are not real-time either. Yeah, typically every quarter or every half year or every year, you give us a data batch. We run this through the analysis. This is a managed service. You get this dashboard, and we help you also interpret the results. So the price is a fixed fee, where a standard analysis at building the text, the code book is all included in this flat price. And the price basically depends on how many different models you want to build. Yeah. So if, I don't know, consumers versus B2B are different things, you need different text models, right? And you need to have a different causal model. But then splitting this into regions or so, it's not a different model. It's basically a segment, and that's how we basically also the pricing will scale. Splitting up into segments is only costs 500 euro per segment, and every split is 7K if you use it regularly. Yeah, the pilot is typically 12K. This month's just half of it. So any more questions? Other than that, you have my email. Where is my email? I have many emails. I know Frank at CX.AI is a good one to reach out. Last chance for questions. Other than that, I know it is Friday. I wish you all a great weekend. And again, if you want to get started July, let me know. Would love to talk further. Bye-bye.